basically how it started, whether it was half a year ago or if it's something you've been dragging along for 20 years or yeah.
It started approximately about 2.5 years ago, like December 2015, around Christmas time. I kind of had some neck issues, but it wasn't nothing like, I was dying out of pain or whatever. Typical, oh, my neck, kind of hurts here and there, but it was nothing major. So I used to work out a lot, actually, every day. And then my neck started bothering me, and I just kept ignoring and ignoring, and I just kept working out. And then one of the things that I was doing is, I think that just made it all really bad. There's this thing called ab roller. Like you take a wheel and then roll. So I think what happened was it pulled on my muscles, my traps and all that. But again, I wasn't listening to my body, so it eventually came to a point like it was really hurting. Obviously, I had to stop. So since then, I've been to a lot of doctors, and I'm just not getting any better. But it was
Okay.
just so bad at the beginning when all my muscles pulled. Like you can literally see every muscle like a guitar string, like front, everywhere. It was
Yeah.
like really bad.
So you mainly tie it to this exercise you did with this
Yeah,
ab roll, and then
yeah.
it was one exercise, and then the next day the symptoms started coming.
It started bothering me, but again, I wasn't listening to my body. I just kept working out, and
Yeah,
obviously, I didn't know any better.
yeah, sure,
Uh, that thing called no pain, no gain, which,
exactly.
now I know how, it doesn't make sense, but, if I had known what I know now, obviously, so then, it just started a couple of days later, whatever, it just came to a point that it was hurting really
Okay.
bad. All
And
my
what
muscles were.
do you remember what symptoms you had then in the beginning?
It was like really, really tight muscle, like constant pain, like everything was like pulling constantly.
Okay, so was
Um,
it headaches, for example, or
Headaches, and my arms were hurting, my upper back mostly, and then my clavicle a lot. It was pulling my first rib, and then this one was like pulling really, really badly.
okay? So you had some headache and you had some pain in the arms. So
Yep.
throughout this period, have you had any other symptoms apart from those two symptoms?
And then the other thing that I realized at the very beginning, now that it just kind of makes sense, this part of my muscle was hurting really bad. I remember touching this, and it was shooting pain in my head. But at that time, I had no clue about trigger points. I had no clue about fascia. I had no clue about myofascia. Like, I had no clue what was going on.
Okay. And what
So
since this all started, what have the doctors been saying?
basically nothing. I mean, I had an MRI when pain was still going on for about 6 weeks. I ended up getting an MRI. So basically, then I've been to two neurosurgeons. They said everything looks fine. I mean, supposedly I have a straight neck, but who knows? Maybe the muscles pulled on my vertebrae or whatever. It's like a chicken and an egg thing, Who knows? It's just nothing major. Maybe just very, very minor bulge, but it's nothing like, oh, you need surgery. So I've seen two neurosurgeons, and then one sports injury, like a physician. So they're like, you're fine, nothing wrong with your spine.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Okay.
structurally, nothing wrong. That's what
Okay.
I was
So
told from the
the
MRI.
yeah. Okay. Okay. And what kinds of treatments have you tried since it started?
Well, I'm seeing my sixth chiropractor
Okay.
since then. I've done two physical therapy. I've done trigger point shots, about 25 or 30 of them into my neck. I've done acupuncture, two different acupuncturists. I've seen about 5 or 6 massage therapists. Actually, I'm coming from a massage therapy. She used this technique called, hold on, I was Googling it. Have you heard about it? It's called fascia counter strain. She used this new technique. So she's, I think, my sixth. She does like myofascial release. It's John something.
Okay.
It's a different technique. It's not even a
Sure.
massage.
Sure.
Massage therapy. I did dry needling.
Yeah.
I've actually been getting dry needling for this week. I got a dry needle, and last week I think. So I'm still going through massage therapy, physical dry needling, and constantly working on myself.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
how long have you been working on yourself?
When this initially started about 2 years ago, I started working on myself. I got Claire Davis's book, Trigger Point Therapy. But I was mostly concentrating on my like traps and like kind of like my shoulders. I wasn't really massaging my neck. And it wasn't like a point like you talk about 2-3 hours a day or whatever, you know. It was kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
It will feel good, then it will come back. So I guess I was never consistent, but I was always constantly working on myself. So I have lots of massage tools, and I also took a lot of like supplements, thinking maybe it's my diet, like magnesium, all other stuff.
Okay.
But as far as like consistently working on myself since I found your video, actually yesterday it had been about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I gotta say I've been massaging myself at least hour and a half every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Constantly I'm massaging.
Okay,
like
sure.
I always think about your videos.
Yeah.
You know, sitting, drinking coffee.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Then you know a little bit about what I want you to do. In fact, it sounds like you know a lot about what I want you to do. But
Yes.
that's perfect, Vildan. So actually, that's excellent for